This is How Korea.
So remember, we bitched about not we, I bitched about having to buy trash bags
Yeah.
in South Korea, and like that's what it was, a system that was implemented.
Yeah.
And it was interesting because it was implemented and people overnight like adapted to it very quickly.
Just explain that quickly because I don't think the people know what we're talking about.
So basically, South Korea, what they decided to do was there was so much trash that was happening. There was so much trash that was being produced that they said, okay, in order to reduce this, we're going to charge you for plastic bags that you can only throw away trash in. You can no longer throw away
Yeah,
trash.
based on volume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So based on volume, and we talked about the trash bags. There's different sizes you can buy. You can go to a convenience store, and if you want to throw away trash, you have to buy these bags, right? So you have the 5 liter is the smallest increment,
Yeah.
and then it goes 5, 10, 20, 50, and like 100 usually.
Yeah.
And you throw out these trash bags, and the South Korea implemented this back in I don't remember the year. Do you remember the year?
I don't know. No.
1995.
1995.
Yeah. So they implemented it in 1995, and 9 years later, by 2004, the per capita waste generation had decreased by 23%, and recycling increased by 175%, right? And the reason we're talking about this now is because now they're talking about putting big trash containers back in Seoul.
Okay.
Right. Remember we talked about
Yeah,
this earlier
yeah.
too, where they're putting the public trash cans,
Mhm.
and some people are worried. They're like, "Well, you're gonna have a bunch of people taking advantage of that," and like,
Like you also said that, yeah.
yeah,
You're gonna have people throwing the trash away in public places.
yeah, because like when you have regular trash, you'll throw it away at home. That's not a problem. But when you have trash that's like for example, recently, I wanted to throw away like a broken mirror,
Yeah.
right? Like it was shattered. It dropped and it was shattered. But in order to throw that away, you can't just put it in a trash bag and throw it away. You have to call somebody who deals with throwing away bigger things.
Yeah.
So if you can't fit it in a trash bag, you can't really throw it out, right? So and like some people they might take advantage of that, where they start throwing away things that they need to pay for
Yeah.
separately, or things that like don't fit into the trash bags. But I think the bigger convenience wise, yes, I think it's necessary. Because there's sometimes where it's just like, one of the reasoning was like, oh, there was a bus station and like people aren't allowed to bring drinks on the bus. So what ended up happening was people were throwing away their trash at the bus stop because
And it piles up.
yeah, and it just piles up. So we wanted to put trash cans there.
Mm.
But it also means that there's not going to be any recycling. It's just one big trash can. So, and nobody's going to sort through the trash and recycle it.
I
either.
think no, didn't they? No, I'm sure they introduced it's like a big trash can, but then it's like trash, recycled plastic.
They're separate cans.
Yeah, I think it's a separate one.
In which case, like Koreans are very accustomed to that. Like
Yeah.
they're very good about that.
Mm.
The two things I've noticed is they're very good about trash in terms of like separation and recycling.
Yes, very strict about it.
Yeah, and they're
Yeah.
also very good about not littering.
Mm.
So, I mean, sometimes cigarette butts isn't considered litter
Yeah,
to
yeah.
Korean people. But like with that in mind, I think it'll be okay.
But you will get that ajumma that goes there, and
Yeah.
like we said in the last episode, how do you know if you're an ajumma?
Yeah.
This is gonna be another one.
Are you gonna make a short out of that? Because that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So another one would be like, you're an ajumma if you go and throw your own personal trash out in a fucking public trash can.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Add that to the list.
Then you're gonna be an ajumma.
Yeah. Wow.
Mm.
Yeah, so it was just interesting because we talked about it and we saw it, and it's just like, oh, okay, well, that's what's happening now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also like I wasn't surprised when I saw that article and it said in Korea practically overnight took over the new system.
just like very quickly. Yeah, that's super cool.
So typical Korea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But it was good. It was a good change overall, and I think after 1995, so after 20 years, 30 years, people have adapted to it, and they're just kind of like, okay, well, let's try, these big trash cans now. I think it works.